Welcome to our Shraddha session. And today I wanted to further strengthen our understanding behind the word bhakti. Would any one of you like to share your understanding of the word bhakti, the definition of that word, if you have any idea?
In the chat, we're hearing devotion and love. Yes. This actually shares the highest. Susan shares devotion to the teacher.
Beautiful. All of you are correct. The word bhakti comes from the root word bhaj, B-H-A-J. And bhaj has many meanings, including to revere, to engage, to worship, to devotedly engage, and ultimately to love. And we offer bhakti not only towards our spiritual teacher, which is definitely a candidate for it if we have determined that this is our teacher, but also any elevating symbols like the national flag can draw bhakti from us, or of course God. In traditional Indian tradition, mother and father are also considered symbols where we flow bhakti, but in modern world today, it's all over the place. So case by case, probably. I have to say that bhakti is not lust or infatuation kind of love. It is a purer love. It is based upon higher ideals. We flow bhakti kind of love towards a symbol because they inspire the best in us, the highest in us. So there's a difference. We don't flow bhakti towards our pets or our children or our lover or our favorite wallet or camera or pen. That would not be appropriate. Just everything is appropriate, but just to understand the context of where bhakti is used. It's an entire yoga, Bhakti Yoga. In fact, it is the yoga that strings together many yogas. It's the underlying substratum of karma yoga, jnana yoga, upasana yoga. And while it doesn't have its own chapter in the Bhagavad Gita, it is imbued throughout the Bhagavad Gita and the Upanishads and the entire Vedic tradition. And today I was thinking we could contemplate upon bhakti as love, love of the divine, love of the teacher perhaps. And to understand bhakti from a perspective of love, we should first look at love. And it's interesting that the Upanishads have clarified 3 forms of love. It's amazing how much an ancient culture has churned and come up with very cryptic and clear teachings. And this understanding of love can help us actually even in our relationships, really. And then we'll connect it to the divine. So let's look at the 3 kinds of love. So the Upanishads clarify that there is something called the love of means, the love of goals, and the love of self. And this is all love, but it varies in its intensity. Sometimes I'll be speaking nasally because I have a rather intense incense burning here. It's getting into my nose, that's all, but I'm very comfortable. So, what is love of means? In a way, this is the lowest intensity in terms of love. When an individual loves something or someone, primarily because that object serves as a means to an end. For example, we may love someone because they are the ticket to a good life. So then the love that we feel for them is because of their wealth or their status. So they are a means to a goal of leading a better, luxurious, comfortable life. So this is the love of means because it enables comfortable life. Now, we are all aware of partnerships that go south because somebody promised love at the altar till death do us apart, but their love was only a love of means. So when that person lost their job or lost a limb or lost inspiration and could not provide for the other one, the love did not last. So it's not an unknown phenomena. It's very common. We're all aware of it. And it's this teaching is not to blame or shame ourselves, but to take stock of the kind of love we are bringing to the object of our love. So this is all insights for us. Love of goals is the second form of love, and this is where an individual loves something or someone not as a utility or as a means to some other goal, but that thing or that person, that object of love is the goal unto itself. So then in the example that I gave you, the relationship would endure during difficult time because the person would say that whether you are rich or poor, I love thee. I am with thee. You are the goal of my love. So to be with you is the goal. So that person is the goal, not what they bring, not what they are a means of. So this is the love of goal. As you can see, it's a more advanced way. And I hope you're enjoying this succinct teaching. Finally, we have the love of self. And this is the highest and the purest form of love. Why? Because we love maximally ourselves. And the Upanishads don't poo-poo that. They go, yeah, sure, that's a fact. And in fact, there is this teaching which says that we love our husband because of ourselves. We love our children because of ourselves. We cry for the dead for ourselves. We are happy somebody is born for ourselves. It's always coming back here. So the Upanishads say that when we love someone as ourselves, then clearly our love has transcended the distinction between loving the other as the other and then loving oneself as self. If we were to love someone as much as we love ourselves, then now there is no separation between the loved and the lover. This love can never end because we never stop loving ourselves. We love ourselves so much, we even love our smell, our sweat, our stool, our urine, our blood, our elimination. We're okay with it because we love ourselves. So the love of the other as self is characterized by extreme intimacy of, not intimacy of body here, but because we are talking about, we're not going there, we're just talking about the intimacy of the self. It has depth, it has consistency, it has character, it has a great selflessness. Like our one hand would help the other hand without keeping account of how much I help this hand. Mm, The the senses help each other. If one sense is not functioning, the other senses take over and do the extra work. No problem, because we love the self. In the same way, we will love the other. So you can see that this is a deeply profound and unifying form of love, because this love is the unifying factor between the loved and the lover, between the loving one and the lover and the beloved. So these three forms of love then inform bhakti when we understand it as divine love as three distinct forms of bhakti. And remember, bhakti flows towards symbols that inspire us, especially sacred symbols, more than secular symbols. And so this can include the guru figure, can include parents, the guru figure, but parents it's more secular. We've kind of stretched ourselves to include the parent, but when we see the parent not as a specific parent, but when we see the parental role, when we see that role, then we bring bhakti to it. Similarly, the guru, we bring the guru role and we bring bhakti to it. And then ultimately, the bhakti is flowing towards God, Goddess, Brahman, and the guru and the parents are representatives of that. So if we have the love of means, when we are in habit of that, then the bhakti will also be somewhat of a selfish bhakti. And again, the word selfish is being used for our own insight so that we can make our own progress. It's an inferior bhakti. And by the way, all these bhaktis are legitimate bhaktis in the eyes of Lord Krishna in the Bhagavad Gita. So it's not like you have inferior bhakti, you are doomed, and you go fall off the face of earth. None of that. We understand that we all begin here. So inferior bhakti is selfish love based bhakti. In this basic form of bhakti, the individuals view the divinity, whatever that divinity is, Jesus, Allah, Krishna, Durga, Shiva, Vishnu, doesn't matter. Whatever is the form of God for us, we view the divine symbol as a means to fulfill our worldly desires. So we are in a mode of bhakti with God or Guru because we feel that with their intervention, we will zip past and get what we really need in the world, like wealth, like abundance, like status, like power, like a child or like a family or like a lover. So their love for the divine, and you know this, that so many of us go to the church or the temple or the Kaaba just praying for please, 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 please help me meet the blah, 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 XYZ, XYZ. It's okay. We all begin. Yeah. So this is conditional. It is driven by our desires for wealth, success, security, personal gains, and our list, which we couldn't meet ourselves. So we're kind of hoping that which the divine can do. The divine will intervene on our behalf and change the paradigm, which the divine can do. And as a result, we keep going back. It's the reason it's considered inferior bhakti is because the goal of bhakti in the Veda is not merely material fulfillment. Because we know that every act of fulfillment comes with the opposite. If you've been reading Sovereign Self, it comes with additional desires and a chronic state of non-fulfillment. So you're never really fulfilled. And if you're not fulfilled on the timeline that you presented to the divine and in the way you wanted to be fulfilled, then it can lead to frustration and anger and even disenchantment with the divine at times. And it can entangle the individual into a loop of desire, request, suffering, disappointment, desire, request, suffering, disappointment. So it kind of reinforces the ego's attachment to material pleasures, and it doesn't really lead person on a path of yoga. There's a difference between prayer and devotion to intervene, but there is to intervene for meeting our material needs. But when we see the divine symbol or even the guru as a ticket to something else, then it quickly leads to limiting the journey of the seeker, because bhakti yoga is a potential journey through which our heart can soften, become pure, our needs can become full of that inner shine, the inner Shri. And that's why even if you attended my classes, and I hope you did on Goddess Lakshmi and her abundance, there's none of that grasping and grabbing and you must and please and will you and I'm begging. It was more like, okay, let me find the ways to connect with the inner Lakshmi. So that's the goal. And so we don't want to be in that place. And I don't know about you, but I've totally been there, especially when we start out as children and then from time to time. But then this is where we say, wait, what is this relationship about? What is my love about? So is my love a deal that if you give me the drug of happiness, I'm going to come to your temple or light a lamp? And when you send me the painful parcel, which was meant for my growth, but I didn't see, da 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 da, so then I will be upset with you, right? So it's a selfish kind of bhakti. So that's one example. And probably the reason I went first to love and I didn't only explain about bhakti was because then we can also look at the way we offer love to our friends, to the society, to our causes. Is it a love of means? So does it lead to selfish interest? Those are some insights that we can have.